It's happening, folks, and this time the paper trail doesn't lie. Federal investigators have finally followed the money, and what they uncovered in the heart of Illinois is nothing short of explosive. Now, for years, we've asked the same question. Who's paying for all this chaos? Who is bankrolling the riots, the bail funds, the so-called protests that somehow have fleets of brand new vans and pallets of bricks waiting on standby? Well, tonight we actually have the answer, and it is way worse than anyone imagined. Now, according to new federal reports and internal Doge documents, billions in taxpayer cash, that's right, guys, your cash, were quietly funneled through a maze of radical NGOs, front groups posing as community outreach programs. And guess what? Those same groups, those very groups, are now tied to Antifa-linked organizers behind recent riots and even terror charges in multiple states. But this is only just the start. In fact, in Chicago, a Democrat-appointed judge has now banned ICE agents from making arrests in courthouses, effectively creating a sanctuary, if you will, for criminals, gang members, and even violent offenders, all while these same nonprofits keep collecting government checks. I mean, it's like a perfect feedback loop of corruption. Tax dollars in, lawlessness out. President Donald J. Trump's Justice Department has now stepped in. In fact, we're seeing federal raids now underway. Subpoenas are flying. And for the first time, the people who used our money to fund political violence, they're finally being cornered. So buckle up, patriots, because by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how deep this network runs, how it connects straight back to Illinois' $1 billion slush fund, and why this might be the biggest political scandal of 2025. Hit the like button, subscribe. Okay, they finally found the trail. After years of denials, red tape, and stonewalling, investigators inside of the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, working hand in hand with President Trump's Justice Department, follow the numbers line by line through Illinois' state grant system. What they uncovered looked less like political service and more like organized laundering. Over $1 billion in so-called community support funds have been quietly redirected into a web of nonprofits that on paper claimed to mentor parents or promote inclusion. But in practice, they're actually paying these organizers that are tied to left-wing street operations. Financial analysts inside of Doge noticed the pattern. Identical grant language copied across dozens of NGOs, each transferring chunks of money to affiliated outreach partners with no public accounting. Yeah, that was a red flag. So IRS agents compared those same payouts with riot-related arrests and travel reimbursements uncovered in other states. The same names showed up again and again and again. And so what was once dismissed as rumor suddenly looked like a blatant blueprint. Taxpayer money wasn't just being misspent, it was weaponized against the very officers sworn to protect this country. And the bombshell inside the reports? Oh, wow. The billion-dollar pipeline in Illinois appears to be only the first domino. In fact, it gets so much bigger than this, guys, because we're seeing similar structures now under review in California, New York, and Washington state, and clearly the fuse has been lit. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Now, Illinois is in the epicenter. According to the state representative by the name of Brad Halbrook, his team uncovered a staggering sum, more than $1 billion that were buried in the human services budget under phrases that are so freaking vague, they could pretty much mean anything. Equity training. What does that mean? Immigrant empowerment. What does that mean? Community resilience. Yeah, you got me on that one. Those words became the camouflage for political operations that are masquerading as compassion. Now, Halbrook's testimony before state auditors made it very clear. Lawmakers were told to just go ahead and approve line items without even knowing who the recipients were or how the money would be used. The grants bypassed normal review because these NGOs are FOIA exempt. They're shielded from public records requests that would expose where the cash actually went. So instead of helping seniors or families that are in need, that budget was repurposed to bankroll activist payrolls, protect logistics, and digital propaganda. It pretty much turned charity into politics and politics into chaos. Ordinary Illinoisians, teachers, truckers, parents, unknowingly, given to charity because it's for a good cause. They ended up financing the very unrest that's tearing their own streets apart. It's clearly moral robbery disguised as progress. And now that Doge has the receipts, every name on those grant disbursements is about to face the sunlight. Now, seniors all across America are discovering that their doctors are saying, we will no longer accept your insurance next year. Call Chapter to get your new coverage. Now, I know that sounds scary, but I have good news for you. The right Medicare plan balances three things: cost, doctors, and benefits. But most people are they're stuck sacrificing at least one of them. This is why I have partnered with Chapter, guys. They help people find Medicare coverage where you don't have to choose. You can actually have all three. Now, one of our viewers, she said, Chapter showed me a Medicare plan that saved money and kept my doctors. I love it. So let me ask, are you going to just keep sacrificing, or are you going to do what most people already are and balancing it all? Now, most people, they're calling that phone number right there at the bottom of your screen, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. That phone number again is 909-563-8279. So what started as community service, it was really a money laundering circuit for activism. Get it? Check this out, okay? Investigators discovered that several Illinois-based NGOs acted as pass-through accounts, moving taxpayer grants from shell programs listed as street outreach or civic engagement, but behind the scenes, those payments were funding training, travel, and equipment for self-styled protest security teams, better known to the rest of us as Antifa cells. Well, President Trump's DOJ cross-checked these nonprofits' financials with digital evidence gathered from arrests in Portland, Dallas, and Chicago. The same payroll vendors, same donation platforms, the same list of volunteers receiving stipends disguised as consulting fees. Well, these weren't bake sales or fundraisers. No, these were pipelines. And once Doge connected the dots, the picture was unmistakable. A taxpayer-funded street army operating under the protection of 501c3 status. The same people who are preaching equity and inclusion on their websites, they're coordinating violent demonstrations in public group chats. So these weren't donations. These were direct deposits for destruction. Every smashed window, every burning squad car, every attack on law enforcement has been subsidized in part by the very citizens that these groups claim to represent. And the outrage is justified. And the investigation has only just begun. Now, if you really want to see how deep this goes, look no further than Cook County, Illinois. This is where Chief Judge Timothy Evans signed an unprecedented directive in 2025. ICE and Border Patrol agents are forbidden from making civil arrests inside of Chicago courthouses. Now, Evans said it was about access to justice, but what it really did was create sanctuary zones for fugitives. Now imagine that, right? You got violent offenders, cartel members, and human trafficking suspects walking into court knowing federal agents are literally barred from detaining them. That's not justice, that is protection. Meanwhile, Chicago's left-wing leadership applauded the ruling as a humane measure. Humane? Like, tell that to the ICE agents assaulted outside the very same buildings. It's the perfect storm. Judges shielding criminals, NGOs funding agitators, and politicians pretending that their hands are clean. Chicago is not just a city anymore. It is a case study in state-sponsored obstruction. And the question that everybody's asking right now is, who's really running the show? Now, the chaos didn't stop at the courthouse. No, it did not stop at the courthouse doors. Across Chicago, federal agents, they've been under siege. The ICE field office on South Dearborn became ground zero for nightly assaults, crowds throwing bottles, setting fires, and trying to breach federal property. These weren't spontaneous protests, guys. They were coordinated, funded, and relentless. Now, at one point, agents made makeshift barricades just to keep the mob at bay. But in a stunning move, local officials, including Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, ordered those barricades removed, calling them obstructions. Obstructions, they were the only thing that were keeping these agents alive. So by tearing them down, city leaders gave the green light to the attackers. Now, let's be very clear here, guys. These weren't peaceful demonstrators. Intelligence reports show known Antifa organizers, many with prior arrest records, leading these mobs while shouting, "This is our city." Chicago's leadership effectively told federal officers, you're on your own. So how many agents have to be injured before someone admits that this is clearly organized domestic terrorism, funded by taxpayers and protected by policy? This is what happens when politics replaces law enforcement, and now the reckoning has begun. Now, for years, the left called Antifa a myth. Then in October 2025, that myth was indicted. 2 Antifa members in Texas were hit with federal terror charges after an armed attack on an ICE facility left multiple agents hospitalized. Now, according to the New York Post, those same suspects were a part of a cell that was connected to more than 50 firearms and encrypted message chain links about out-of-state nonprofits. Wow. Now, federal investigators and federal auditors are now tracing those same nonprofits back to Illinois grant system, the same NGOs that Doge flagged months ago. So the evidence really lines up here. You got the payments, the coordination, the ideology. What began as a local probe into misuse of funds has really evolved into a national counterterrorism investigation. Now, President Trump's Justice Department, they're no longer treating Antifa as just a protest movement. It's actually being treated as an organized terror network. So this marks the very first time in American history that political activists masquerading as nonprofits face charges under federal anti-terror statutes. Now, this isn't about politics anymore. This is clearly about survival. This is the line between activism and terrorism, and it has finally been crossed. Now, with the evidence mounting, President Donald J. Trump, he gave the green light for what insiders are calling the largest federal anti-corruption push in decades. His Justice Department, backed by the Department of Government Efficiency, launched a full-scale audit of every federal to state grant program connected to the Illinois Human Services budget. Now, Doge's data team, yes, the same people who first uncovered the billion-dollar slush fund, provided a roadmap to the crackdown. Every questionable NGO, every hidden contract, every transfer marked overreach or training is now under review. And President Trump's message couldn't be any clearer. Not one taxpayer dollar will fund America's destruction. This isn't business as usual. In fact, federal prosecutors are issuing subpoenas faster than local officials can even respond. The administration's new efficiency task force is cross-referencing bank data, phone records, and payroll documents in order to expose the full chain of command that's behind the chaos. Now, for years, Democrats claimed accountability was political theater, but this time, they're not dealing with bureaucrats. They're dealing with a businessman. President Trump built an empire by following the numbers, and now he's following the money that was used to burn his country. And folks, it's leading straight back to the heart of Illinois. And so now that the lid has been blown off, the usual suspects are panicking. The Chicago Tribune, MSNBC, and a handful of fact checkers, they're all singing the same tune, the same very tired tune, mind you. There's no evidence. It's just budget mismanagement. Doge is spreading conspiracy theories. Give me a break, guys. These are the same news outlets that spent years calling Antifa a myth while live streaming their riots in real time. Now they want America to believe that the $1 billion funneled into NGOs is just bad accounting. Spare me, okay? You don't accidentally misplace $1 billion. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. Now, behind the scenes, Illinois Democrats are scrambling trying to rewrite the narrative. Governor J.B. Pritzker's office has quietly removed several grant links from public websites. Now, one NGO director even shut down her organization overnight, citing harassment. Translation, they're covering their tracks. Meanwhile, mainstream anchors are wringing their hands about rising authoritarianism because Trump dared to enforce the law. They call it compassion. We call it corruption, and the people are seeing right through it. Even lifelong Democrats in Chicago's South Side are saying they're at least asking the same question we are. Well, where did the money go? Well, the truth is out, and no headline can rewrite or even bury it. The hammer has officially dropped. Within the last 48 hours, federal agents executed multiple raids on Illinois-based nonprofits tied to the Doge investigation. Now, 2 offices in Springfield and another one in downtown Chicago, they were seized. Hard drives confiscated, encrypted communication devices taken into federal custody. DOJ officials say that they've already found undisclosed wire transfers to out-of-state affiliates that are connected to riot coordination hubs. Now, for the first time, arrests have reached mid-level organizers, the so-called logistics directors who handled funding and travel arrangements for Antifa groups across the Midwest. Well, these aren't kids with signs. They are accountants for anarchy. And so while the political class scrambles to try and spin it, the public is cheering. Police unions, truckers associations, and even faith leaders are rallying behind the raids, calling them long overdue. Law and order is back, and one Chicago police sergeant said, "And we finally have a president who means it." Now, that is the turning point, folks. The tide has clearly shifted, and for the first time in years, the American people they're actually seeing accountability in real time. The message is simple. If you use public money to destroy the public, you will be held accountable. So step back just for a second, and I want you to look at what this moment really means for everyone. From the slush fund in Illinois to the courtroom protection orders to the mobs attacking ICE facilities, every one of these stories is connected. It is a network built on deception, powered by your taxpayer dollars and maintained by politicians who thought nobody would ever trace it back to them. Well, they were wrong. President Trump's second term has brought something that Washington feared the most: results. Doge exposed the waste. The DOJ followed the trail, and the people, ordinary, hardworking Americans like me and you, well, we're finally getting to see behind the curtain. This isn't just about Illinois. This is about every state where corruption masquerades as compassion. It's about reclaiming what's ours, our institutions, our borders, our freedom. The swamp tried to turn charity into chaos, but now the reckoning has begun. They used our money to divide us. Now we're using the truth to take it all back. The fight for transparency, accountability, and justice has only just begun. And as long as patriots stand united like we are today, this great nation will never fall. Like, subscribe, and share, because America's cleanup starts right here, right now.